live here on RaceSpotTV in association with the Glen. Tonight we are racing at the classic layout of the Watkins Glen International, which basically means there are only 7 turns and a couple of massive straightaways, so the drafting is going to be huge. The track is 2.42 miles in length, and the temperatures, as always throughout the season, seems like partly cloudy, 77 degrees Fahrenheit in the air, with fairly average winds as well, so bound to be an amazing day here today. Track located in Watkins, Glen, New York in the United States, and the field is packed once again with 47 cars on the grid. My name is Linus Broström, and once again I'm joined by Rachel Whitefoot. And Rachel, it's bound to be another one of those draft races today.
Yeah, Watkins Glen certainly definitely allows for that kind of drafting on the track. Big long straightaways and some pretty easy corners for these guys to handle. It always makes it tricky, especially grouping up into those corners, especially the S's climbing upwards. We're in the classic layout tonight, so going to be a busy track, but we don't have, of course, the boot, so that is one part. They will not have to navigate in the tricky turn 8 there, so it should be a very fast and furious race.
It definitely will. Drivers are currently out doing their qualifying laps, and at the moment it's Nicholas von Roberts holding the provisional pole position by about 8/100ths of a second, with Leus in second and Pattinson in third position. Still got about just over 2 minutes left of qualifying. Now it's a 20-minute open qualifying session here today, so finding a drafting partner is key around this place, and one misstep and you lose momentum. That's going to kill your entire lap. You can see big bunches of cars here as Will Redford is behind another car there of Leus going down straight away now, so you work with each other here. One guy leads one lap and then the other guy leads the next lap, and that's how you help each other get quick lap times. Going into today's race though, it's Johan Pattinson leading the championship, 13 points ahead of Simon Edwards, with Lee Anderson in third, so usual suspects up there at the front, and Nicholas von Roberts, who's currently on pole, he's all the way down in 9th, so that's going to be one to look out for as well. Coming to the end of the lap here though for a couple of guys, but going to be no changes at the top. It's going to be still von Roberts holding on to that. You can see over through turn 1 there, you just go super wide over the curve. It's just asphalt on the exit, and basically have to do that, then up the hill here through the SS turn 3, 2, 3 and 4. And in the Skippys, this is just flat out and then on to the long back straightaway, and this is where you usually have the bus stop chicane, but not on this layout. It's just going to go straight on and then the long right hand carousel, turn number 5. And this is one place where in most cars it's very easy to get the wrong line and get off the track, and if you fall over that white line, it's pretty much off camera, so that's going to put you in the barrier. Then the boot is down to the left, but we're going to keep going to the right and then back towards the finish with 2 more corners. So very short and fast track for them here today. As you see, a little crash there in the background. Don't know if we managed to catch that, but here they come towards the end of the lap again. It's about 20 seconds left, so the last few drivers getting onto their final lap here. I think these guys we're following now, Ben Daniels there in 15th, for example, they're going to be able to do one more lap because they're going to get to that line about 10 seconds before the checkered flag is out. So you get to finish the lap you started unless it takes too long. So see if we can follow along here on his final lap and see if he can improve on his 15th position. But it looks like he has to brake early there into turn number 1, so that could potentially have screwed up his whole lap. We'll have to see what happens, but it's going to be a good one today, Rachel, and the draft is going to be massive, and working together is going to be key, because if you're going to go 3 or maybe even 4 wide down that straightaway, you don't want to be 3 wide going into the carousel.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the main straight after the S's will be a huge one for them, so start-finish line. But the draft is so important here. This is like Spa, this is like Nürburgring. It'll be the whole race, but coming out of the S's, I would be surprised if they're not 4 wide into the carousel with there being no bus stop. They'll do it regardless, so we'll see a lot of lead changes.
Definitely will. We saw Ben Daniels there getting overtaken by 2 cars, so I think his run for his qualifying session is over. That's Leah Hughes moving over to the right, and then Will Redford up ahead, just following these guys. Now Ben Daniels is pulling over. Will Redford, though, he's currently in 4th, looking to see if he can improve on his lap time here. He's had some good draft throughout the lap, through turn number 6 here. He comes now into turn number 7 onto the straightaway, and this exit is very important as well. Use as much of the curb as possible without hitting the grass. Here he comes. The line is way down the straightaway, and it is not going to be enough for an improvement, so he's going to stay in 4th. And I believe that was one of the last cars, actually, as he totals that car coming into turn number 1, just slams it into the barrier. But I don't think there are any more cars out on the track actually turning laps. We have actually Mark Langford still coming through here. He's currently down in 30 seconds, so just see where he ends up. That should be about 10 seconds, and then his run will be over. But he's not going to go any way further up, so let's go through the starting grid here. It's going to be Nicholas Von Roberts on pole position with a 1:23.496, less than a tenth ahead of Leah Hughes, with Ewan Pattinson in 3rd and Will Redfield, like we saw there, in P number 4. Then it's Lee Anderson in 5th, Dave Kirkman in 6th, Seth Brown in 7th, Simon Edwards all the way down in 8th. That's going to be a massive job for him to get up there today. Andrew Bernowski in 9th, and then Ben Evans rounding out the top 10. Daniel Tufts in 11th, Clark Williams starting 12th. It's Reese Saunders in 13th, Mick Watson in 14th, Ben Daniels in 15th, Dave M. Dowson in 16th, Mark Redford in 17th, Christopher Keeble 18th, Peter Cowan in 19th, Tony Stack in P number 20. Then it is going to be Chris Bassett in 21st, Simon Maltby 22nd, Denny Wood 23rd, Kevin Budgeon in 24th, Ken Bracey in 25th, Jack 9th, 26th, Seymour Harding 28th, Jonathan Rex in 28th, Alan Patterson in 29th, and John Edwards rounding out the top 30. The rest of the grid there will be up on your screen. And we had as much as 44 cars setting lap times here today. 48 drivers signed up. So I believe all of them are actually in the race here today, so that's it's going to be a stacked grid, 48 cars. I was hoping for just above 50, but that's not going to happen, as you can see at the back there as well. The last few cars lining up around the final turn, but not as much as it was last weekend, so not going to be too much of an issue for them. At the front it's going to be Nicholas Von Roberts. Engines are revving slightly, but they're still waiting on those last couple of cars to get those lights on. But the run down to turn 1 here is going to be important. It's not a very long one, but it's downhill. So if you're brave on the brakes, you can potentially make a pass. And then that super wide exit with the curb and the asphalt on the outside, basically those track limits does not matter. You can go just as wide as you want. And then it's up the hill, but here we go. Engines are revving, everybody is on the grid, red lights are on, and the green flag is out, and here we go. It's going to be a good start from our pole sitter there, Nicholas von Roberts, and they're going to be pretty much single file all the way through the field here. They're starting pretty spread out, and there's one car pulling into the pits right away. That's interesting. Neil A. Jackson, he just pulled right and straight into the pits. I wonder if he had a jump start from last position. But clean down through turn number 1, see a couple of cars wide there. Yeah, but that is okay as long as you don't hit the grass, and with the track being so wide, it looks like everybody's going to get through the first couple of turns pretty okay here. Coming up the hill, still going to be Von Roberts, but this is where the draft is going to come into play. Lee Hughes is going to get a huge run here, and he's moving up to make a move already, and there's a ton of side-by-side going on behind here. Tufts Baranowski going out, Watson passing Rhys Saunders, and there's already 3 wide at the front of your pack here. It's going to be Leah Hughes though up into the lead, and Pattinson is going to drop in behind him. Now Von Roberts on the inside, side by side with Will Redford for 3rd there. So and there's a crash behind as well. That's going to be Daniels, Clark Williams, Tufts is in it. I think Mick Watson was in it as well. But it looks like they're all able to keep going, Richard.
Yeah, they are. What happened actually in that crash lane, this was it was 4 wide between the 38, 98, 23 and 34, those cars being Tufts, Williams, Evans, and I believe we had another one there, I can't find him right now, but those cars, sorry, Seth Brown I should say, coming into the corner, 4 wide there, and no contact, but sideways goes Clark Williams, unfortunately, and nobody actually made any contact. The machine there of Brown skirted sideways past him. Daniel Tufts even, it skirted sideways, drifted beside him. It was like something from Drift Championships. It was beautiful. No one touched each other, flawless through. But of course we did see a lead change at the front. And one thing I want to quickly point out, Nina, is on the start there, running into 1, you see the amount of leaders who are weaving off that start. The green light in the race is gone, and they're warming tyres into corner 1.
Yeah, they definitely were. Meanwhile, there we saw Seth Brown and Ben Evans as well getting into it there in the final corner, both actually sliding into pit lane, hitting that wall. So a race over for them, unfortunately, unless they can get their cars out. Here we go, it's 4, is it even 5 wide? It's 4 wide at least for the lead, coming down the back straightaway. Like you said, Rachel, they were weaving at the beginning, warming up their tyres. And wow, 4 wide. Oh, the leader spins. That's Lee Anderson. He's going to get sideways. He's going to collect it again, though. Same as happened back in the pack earlier. That could have been massive, but amazing job from Anderson to hold on to it, and I think that might have been why you saw them weaving there at the start, because the tires are cold, so there isn't that much grip. So you can see in the background there though, there's 3 and 4 wide way down the pack, and this is what we're going to see throughout the race. The draft is just so massive. You catch the car in front of you and you just have nowhere to go. You got to get next to him, and there's another car slightly off the track. I believe that might have been Andrew Baranowski, but he's able to keep on going. Mick Watson getting through there though, up into P13 with Clark Williams just ahead. And there is another little incident at the back. Car is going to weave into pit lane. That's going to be John Edwards getting collected. Steve Lowe is in that as well. John Torpy, I believe, and there's cars flying everywhere, and there's going to be a replay up on the screen of that. I don't really know what happened there, but I think John Edwards, he just ran into the car in front of him, then got ran over from behind, and then he was just sitting in the middle of the track and nowhere for him to go as cars was just coming through.
That's always going to happen, Linus. Unfortunately, it's one of those factors in Skip Barber Racing. I think huge crash there, of course it wasn't 1, but we're already 3 wide again on the back straight here, running in towards the carousel. Nearly 4 wide there, as it's looking like Lee Anderson going for a big move here. Vaughan Roberts on the outside. Should get a good run through the carousel here, but it might be Anderson's corner, as he has the far better line there on the inside. It will be, look at that, just dragging through there. Lee Anderson to the sharp end, and it's going to be 2 wide here between Vaughan Roberts and Hughes, but I think it's going to be advantage Vaughan Roberts here. He may even have to look up the inside into that penultimate corner. He may be backing out though, looking at him just easing off there, as yep, through in front of him, Anderson will come holding that leader. It's 2 wide still in the penultimate corner. Just to hold this group together, the amount of 2 wide running here is really kind of enhancing that pack racing feel. We might even see the group behind them catch up.
Yeah, somehow we're only 3 laps into this 18-lap race, and somehow they've pulled over 3 seconds on the group behind us. There's another massive crash back there. That's going to be Chris Bassett, Christopher Keeble, Tony Stacks in that. Seymour Harding is out. There's cars in the barrier, cars flying again. Tim Adcock got in it as well. that, what you can see here, a group of about 15 Skippys trying to fit into one slot at the back there. Somebody just turns in too early over the 81 there of Tony Stack. They get collected. 67 comes in through there. 667, sorry, of Chris Bassett, and it's just nowhere to go for anybody. Simon Thorne, Seymour Harding has had an incident as well. Now Darren C. Morris has been involved in an incident too later on the lap, and you can see those cars just going straight onto pit lane there to get well out of the way. Meanwhile, free wide at the front, and there is contact between Von Roberts and Pattinson for second by the looks of it, but it's going to be Leah Hughes around the outside retaking this lead, and somehow these guys, they're going at it like this, but they're still pulling away from the group behind, so I don't think they're going to be slowing down anytime soon.
No, it doesn't look that way at all. The racing all over each other still again here. And it's a huge knot of cars. Not a lot of space for it to get into. If anything, Watkins Glen often referred to as Daytona of road courses when it comes to NASCAR racing, but I think it just get Babs. Oh, sideways from it. My gosh, Patterson was also sideways, clipped his wheel on the curb there, and he was nearly across the track, but he managed to hold on to it as a blown engine pulls onto pit road. That looks to be a collision. Not entirely sure who that is, Linus, but they'll have just gone one lap down. I believe that was Simon Thorne's. It was indeed, as leaders head back into one, and this race really is Daytona-like.
It definitely is. Might calm down for a few seconds going up through the S's here, but as soon as they get on the next straightaway, they're going to be 2 and 3 wide. It's Leah Hughes leading the way this time. Simon Edwards has got up to second by holding on to this lead pack. You can see him going a little bit wider, trying to get some height. Pattinson, though, right on the back of him. So here comes Edwards. He's actually getting that draft up the hill and side by side before they're on the straightaway. So it's Simon Edwards now to the lead. Pattinson going to move to the left of him, so they're going to be 3 wide, and it's going to be Von Roberts looking to make it 4. We're on board here, though, with Will Redford, and he's got nowhere to go. Side by side in front of him, and he's just going to sit back here in 5th. It's going to be 2 by 2 down through the carousel again. Pattinson around the outside, Edwards on the inside. Looks like he's going to be able to take the lead here, though, and he's going to be leading this lap. But now the next straightaway, even more drafting, so Pattinson get the run this time. He's going to have the inside for turn 6, and unless he's not... No, he's going to get it. He's going to get that one easily, actually. Von Roberts back up to 3rd as well. On the inside there of Lee Hughes, he's going to drop another one to Will Redford. Now he's on the inside, so they're going to be side by side for 4th, but it's going to be Redford taking that position over. So Lee Hughes from 1st all the way down to 5th, potentially down to 6th here even, as Anderson collects 5th there. So he's going to lose 5 positions in a lap from the lead there. That's pretty massive, especially if that happens on the final lap. Now coming around turn 1, there's going to be a lap car coming out of pit lane just as they're getting to the S. Is he going to back out of it? He's not. He's going to stay in front of him, so that's going to really affect the leaders coming up the hill here.
Certainly is. Group behind him, by the way. David Dawson leading that group with Ben Daniels, Reece Saunders, Clark Williams, Mick Watson, Mark Redford and Peter Cowan in there. Loads of cars down to Baranowski, I believe. Huge knot of them right behind your leaders, doing exactly what the leaders are doing. Huge pack racing as we get once again 3 wide already for the lead, as through the middle will come Will Redford. Big moves from him as 3 wide behind the leader. Whew, this is busy racing. Not a lot of room into the corner as Eugenie pushes wide there into the car there of Patterson, and Redford will secure that position ahead of the lap car. The group behind them doing exactly the same thing, Linus. This is all over the place. Look.
Yeah, they're all over each other in all these groups. Then there's the 3rd group from 18th down to 23rd as well, but I mean, there's 7 cars in the lead group. There is 8 cars, I think, in the 2nd group, so racing all over the place, and these guys, they're just not giving an inch to each other. And normally on a track where you have some sort of drafting like this, you can kind of position yourself for where you want to be coming into the final lap to get that win. But here you've seen Lee Hughes going from the lead down to 5th. You saw Redford going from 4th up to the lead in a lap, so you just don't know where to be come that final lap. It's all about the run you get and how the people around you draft. So I think this is going to be going like this either until they all crash or until we cross that start finish line on the final lap. So this is definitely not going to be over until they cross the line. Now I think that is still the lap car there right ahead of Will Redford, actually. He's going to hold right here though onto the straightaway. Hopefully they can all get by him, but that's going to affect the leaders here quite a bit as Redford gets a good draft onto the straightaway. Now everybody else is drafting up that lap car again, and you can see another knot of lap cars there ahead of him, about 3 or 4. So this is just going to get more and more intense the more lap cars they catch, but there's still going to be 2, almost 3 wide with that lap car coming into the carousel, and I don't know why he's not just backing out, because he's definitely getting in the way right here. And then the group behind as well. they're also going to catch all these lap cars, so this is just bound to be chaos all the way to the end.
Yep, absolutely, and it's exactly going with the way we expected. This is really tight quarters racing. I'm absolutely loving what they're doing with this thing, and the front group, oh, some guys really wide.
Coming out onto the straightaway once again, that's actually Christopher Kane. They're in the middle of this group, and now Nicholas Von Roberts is going to be able to get by him, and Dave Kirkman hopefully as well. The guys behind them, they're all the way there, out on the curb, almost into the barrier, but I think they're all still going. Actually, they lost a driver in that second group. Not sure who that was actually, but one guy's dropped out because there's only 7 cars left in that group. See if we can figure out what happened there. But for now though, the lead group still 7 cars along with that lap car coming onto the straightaway once again. It's Simon Edwards leading the way this time ahead of Will Redford and Leah Hughes. And now they're going 2 and 3 wide right away. You can just see ahead there, that's 5 lap cars coming up, and they're definitely not just going to back out of it because they're racing for position just as much as these guys. So almost going 4 wide here though. That's going to be Redford up the inside. He's almost going to be clear of Leah, but Simon Edwards there in third on the inside. 3 wide actually for third. Edwards going to hold on to third, but it's going to be Will Redford taking the lead for now ahead of Leah, but they're still side by side down the next straightaway. Here comes Edwards up the middle. He's going to try and take that lead back. He's going to get double side draft. Redford almost going into grass, but Leah with the inside, so he's going to hold the lead at least till the end of lap 7.
Yeah, this is crazy racing, of course, and we are running a 18-lap race here tonight, Lena, so maybe 10 to go this time across the stripe. And I can't tell you who's going to win this race. It's not possible. This is literally like watching a Daytona run. It's going to be whoever's there at the end.
Yeah, it definitely is. Coming down again now, Leah's. He's got a little bit of a gap, though. That gap is obviously going to disappear very quickly. Simon Edwards, as they're coming now 4 wide down in that second group. It's Daniels, Watson, Saunders and Baranowski. Baranowski backs out of it, though. So they're only going to be 3 wide, and Saunders is going to get contact there. He's going to get sent out into the asphalt runoff there. So that's only going to leave them with the 7 cars left in that group. I said 7 earlier, but I think that was Mark Redford. He just jumped off the base. He's caught back up, so there's still 7 cars in that group. Thankfully, he's able to keep on going, but he's going to be about a second back. As they're now going 3, almost 4 wide for the lead. Will Redford putting 2 wheels in the grass there on the inside, and they are going to be 4 wide. It's Edwards on the outside. Middle car there, Von Roberts, he backs out of it, so Redford on the inside. Pattinson going to try and hold it around the outside there to get the lead, and now they're 4 wide for the second group as well. This is getting crazy, Rachel.
Absolutely is. This is insane racing for halfway through the race, Linus. Not exactly what I expected at all. These guys are very measured normally, but I am honestly a little bit surprised that we've not seen as much activity from Edwards, although he's always been the calm, calculating driver here, waiting for his chance to position himself for that strike on the final lap on the back straight there after the S's. That'll be where you put yourself in the position to lead this race, because if you can lead into the carousel, the chance of you coming away with this one is very high.
Yeah, as long as you can get that good run onto the second straightaway, I think you're going to be in a pretty good position. Just got to hold the inside line. Now there's single file again for the top 3 positions at least. Edwards moving up the inside here to get 4th, 5th actually is what he's going to get there from Lee Anderson. So now they're coming to the SS once again, single file, but now more lap cars coming up ahead, and they are a big bunch of lap cars there. That's not going to be easy for the leaders. I think there's 4 or 5 cars on top of each other, as Dave M. Dowson has crashed out of race. Ben Daniels and Mark Redford as well has had an incident coming down into turn number 1. We're going to get a replay up of that here. A late dive there up the inside. Is going to be contact, and then they're just going to check up behind. He's going to get ran over from behind. That's very unfortunate for Dave M. Dowson. He's going to be able to keep on going, but Ben Daniels, Mark Redford, both out of the race there. So a very unfortunate incident right there. It's getting another replay of that right here, coming into turn number 1. And there's contact up ahead. Well, and then
getting
rejoining
onto
the track. Yeah, that's where they crash.
Yeah, no, the rejoining is exactly what happens most of the time here. People running wide, getting off the track, and like in that case, you saw that. They just got off. Oh my gosh.
Lap cars crashed right in front of our leaders, and somehow they all managed to get through. Wow, that could have been disastrous. Just coming around the corner, coming back from the replay, there is a car destroyed right in front of the leaders. That could have been massive, but wow. Will Redford cleaned the track for the rest there, I think, wiping all the pieces of that car off the track. But I don't think there's going to be any damage to any of our lead cars, so they're all going to be able to keep on going. But Wow, I guess they must have had some sort of a heart attack there coming around turn 6.
I think you'd be correct in that assumption. I think I'd also have a heart attack.
Here they come though, back up the hill. It's Von Roberts back to the lead. He made that pass coming up the hill. Will Redford now on the outside. Edwards and Pattinson side by side behind, and you can see the lap cars here still going at it. 6 of them. Now there's going to be almost 4 wide for the lead. Is it even going to be Pattinson squeezing it up the middle there? He's not going to get up alongside Redford though, so it's going to be 3 wide for the lead coming into the carousel. Around the outside it's going to be Simon Edwards. Redford on the inside with the speed around the corner, but now Edwards is going to get the overrun on the exit. Redford's going to be well clear though, so he's going to hold that lead. And as they're coming up on these lap cars, even the leader is going to get drafted, so it's going to get less crazy at the front, but then they're going to mix it up with the lap cars and things are just going to get even worse. Coming into 6 here now, it's going to be Will Redford with the lead coming now to the end of lap 11, so it's going to be 7 laps to go this time. As you see on the right side here, sorry, that's the second group now, down to only 4 cars with Clark Williams, Peter Cowan, Reece Saunders and Andrew Bernowski racing for 8th down to 11th. But the leader's still going at it side by side for first. Actually not. Edwards is going to back in behind, hold on to second, and looks like these guys have somewhat calmed it down as there's another lap car coming out of the pits, but he's hopefully going to back in behind the leaders here. He is, yeah, thankfully. So he's not going to get too involved, but you can see they're up the hill. Those lap cars, they're getting ever closer. And that, Rachel, that's a time bomb waiting to explode.
Always is, of course. Keep my eyes down here, back at 17th place with Jack Knight, Ken Bracey and Chris Morris, another 3 wide just down the start finish line. Crazy racing as we're here seeing Patterson, Anderson and Kirkman and the other guys down about in the top 10. This pack is just insane. The racing closeness is absolutely, oh my gosh, look into the carousel here. Look at this, Linus. Nearly 3 wide, 2 deep there. This is literally Daytona racing. This is the pack racing at its absolute highest. I can't believe it. Oh, contact!
Oh, there we go.
Contact, crash! Von Roberts is out. We're going to replay what happened there. Oh, this is what happens if you go around a corner, 2-3 wide, someone drifts out and bad things happen, as you'll see there. Little bit of contact between Redford and Patterson, and you'll see him hit him, and it shoves Redford out into Von Roberts, and Von Roberts says, good day to the Armco barrier.
Yeah, he was trying to do the loop there. Unfortunately, that's not where we're going today, so that's going to be pretty much race over for him as he's dropping down the order. Very unfortunate end there for our pole sitter. That's going to hurt his championship as well. Good for him. We have drop weeks. Now Will Redford has dropped off this group, so there's only 5 cars left. But with if he can get lucky with the drafter, he might be able to close back up. He is only a second back, just over a second, so unless he got damaged there, he should be good. Might be able to catch back up to these guys. It's Leah Usdal leading the way up the hill. Simon Edwards behind, looking for a gap both on the left and on the right side. He wants to get a move done here before they catch all those lap cars, and you can see they're getting very, very close. I think they're actually within reach of the draft now, so it's not going to be easier to pass, that's for sure. If anything, it's going to get even more strung out now as the leaders are getting drafted. That's going to make them quicker on every single straightaway. So now for the next few laps, it's going to be more up to the drivers as the lap car spin again. He's still sitting on the apex as they're coming around the carousel. And, well, I said it's a time bomb waiting to explode. I think it's more small bits and pieces coming flying at them one by one here that they're all going to have to dodge. Because that's, I think, the second or third lap car that's just parked it right in front of the leaders. Coming now down to 5 laps to go. So Simon Edwards, how long will he be able to hold the lead? Probably not more than about half a lap.
It's possible that it'll go that way. Of course, the pack of lap cars in front of them, Linus, it's not going to take them 5 laps to get to that, and there's 5 cars in that train. That will concern me. That is, of course, the likes of Chris Bassett there, John Torpey, Kevin Bugen and Tony Stack. And that's going to be a bit of a conflict for your lead pack of 5 there, because it's going to be difficult to get past 1 or 2, but try 5.
Yeah, Will Redford as well, you can see him a little bit behind there. He's dropped off a little bit more, so I'm thinking maybe he got some damage from that incident with Nicholas Von Roberts. So unfortunately for him, he's going to be staying in 6th until something happens up here. Here we come though, Leah Hughes. You can see the draft is not as good anymore because Edwards is getting it as well, but they are still going to be 3 wide. Leah Hughes in the middle, Pattinson on the outside, and they're trying to squeeze it in, make it 4, even 5 wide behind them, but they're going to have to settle for 4th and 5th behind there. Leah Hughes though, he's going to clear Simon Edwards and Ewan Pattinson into into the carousel, so he's going to hold the lead coming down the hill this time onto the back straightaway. looks like Pattinson is going to get a run back. Edwards is there as well, so they're going to be 3 wide again. Kirkman looking up the inside, Anderson on the outside, almost in the grass, so they're going to be 3 wide again here for second and third. Going to make it through once more. Kirkman going wide on the curb, loosening it a little bit, going to drop back down to 5th again. Lee Yu's going to lead this lap. Simon Edwards right on the back of him, and well, lap cars, they're still there.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff here, and I'm really kind of hoping that we get through this without any major incidents, and that group ahead of them is looking closer and closer and closer and closer. As this is going to be our major challenge now, coming into those last few laps, Linus. We're looking at 4 laps to go here, and it's going to be a couple of laps to get past those cars.
Yeah, as you can see there, they're passing each other back and forth, and they have every right to, because they're still racing for position. 28th on down to 32nd, so they still have every right, even though you'd like them to get out of the way. You see another lap car just ahead of these guys getting into the grass. They're on the straightaway. They're going to make it 3 wide, while the leaders are going to make it 3 wide. Pattinson on the outside again, Lee Yu's on the inside. It's Edwards in the middle this time. Edwards clearing Lee Yu, so he's going to drop in front of him, and they're 3-4 wide ahead. I don't think these guys are loving what they're seeing at the moment. One little mistake from one of those lap cars, and all the 5 leaders could get involved as well. You can see them here coming down the straight now, and they're going to be 3 wide. This is just ahead of our leaders. That's Tony Stack making a move on Torpy for 28th position, and they're going to almost squeeze in 3 there. That's Kevin Budgeon backs out of it. Behind, Simon Edwards is still leading the race. Pattinson going around the outside up into 2nd place around Lee Yu's, and they're getting closer. They're literally knocking on the door now. They're in the same frame all the way around the track, Rachel. This is about to go down.
Oh yeah, no, this is a really unusual circumstance. Normally when you're passing lap cars it's 1 or 2, but this is a bona fide fight here.
Oh, look at that. They're all getting out of the way. Oh, they're stacking up.
Yeah, no, that was really respectful of them. Like I was going to say, this is a valid fight that's ahead of the leaders. They're going to have to work their way past this, because those guys have every right to be battling. They were fighting hard with each other, and they deserve that right to fight. I think they jumped out of the way a little bit too quickly, but it was really, really respectful of them. I'll give them that. But wow, I was hoping for a real push through.
Yeah, that took some excitement away from us, but still, that pretty much saved the race for all our leaders, as Tony Stack took advantage of that and took off from those other guys. Now he's just going to have to get out of the way of the leaders here, probably around the carousel. It's going to be Pattinson and Edwards going side by side with the lap car coming into the carousel. Lee Yu's right behind in 3rd. Kirkman and Anderson have dropped back slightly, so it's a 3-car race now, 2.5 laps to go. But they should be able to close back up, because now it's clean track. Now there is no more drafting for the leaders, so that's going to slow this pack down slightly again. See if they will be able to catch back up to Anderson and Kirkman. They're not far behind, but they're definitely going to have to work together to close that gap. Coming in now to 6th, and then final turn number 7 onto the straightaway for the 2 laps to go. And it's at the moment Ewan Pattinson, our championship leader, leading the way ahead of Simon Edwards, who's 2nd in the championship. So this isn't only for the race, this is to close the gap in the championship as well. Alney Anderson back there in 4th, he's 3rd in the championship, so he'll want to beat both of these two, so it's urgent for most of these guys right now.
You absolutely are right, Linus, and it's getting really, really busy here. Lap 17 now, so we're going to have 2 more laps, including this one. And this is where you start to set up for your positioning here, and Simon Edwards has worked his way forwards, but is 2nd in the right place? Is it too soon? Maybe this time is when someone like Lee Hughes passes him, or even Anderson, and this puts him in 3rd, really the prime position to take the lead coming out of the carousel on the final lap here. So, but no, he's going for the lead. That is interesting. Okay then, I was expecting him to sit back almost and let Lee Hughes cruise past him, but it seems like everyone's trying to cruise here. Judging by how fast Anderson's catching up to these guys, they all didn't want to really be passed.
No, they didn't. Anderson just caught right back up the lap car there, getting out of the way as well. Anderson now back up in 4th position. And as we're just getting the Paul Smith cam here real quickly as well down through the field, he is currently in P number 15 battling Chris J. Morris for 14th there, Dave Dowson, Ken Bracey and Jack Knight, so that's for P14. They're going 3 wide. But for our leaders here, it's through 6 down through 7, through getting the white flag here onto the final lap. On board with Paul Smith there on the right is having a good battle. Side by side with Chris J. Morris there. He's currently in P number 16. See what he can get down the straight. He's going to have the draft from Dowson, but it looks like Morris is going to be able to get clear of him into the first turn, though. For our leaders for the final time, it's going to be Edwards ahead of Pattinson, Lee Hughes in 3rd, Anderson in 4th, and Kirkman, he has caught back up to these guys as well. So it's a 5-car race now. No lapped cars getting in the way, so this is it. who's going to have the lead coming into the carousel, and is that going to be enough? That second straightaway is pretty long as well, so leading into the carousel might not be enough. Here they come. He's going to be up 2 wide, he's going to be 3 wide. It's Pattinson in middle, Leus on the outside, Edwards on the inside. He's going to get passed by everybody though. Here comes Anderson, he's going to almost make it 4. Not enough room though, so he's going to have to go all the way to the outside, see if he can go around these guys. Edwards gets the side draft on the inside, so they're going to be 3 wide, dead even into the carousel. Edwards on the inside, he's going to get his nose ahead. He's going to be clear onto the next straightaway now. Pattinson in behind him, trying to get another bit of draft here. Lee's back there as well. Here comes Pattinson on the outside. Is the outside in turn 6 going to be good enough to get the win here? I don't know. Lee's going to go to the left. He's almost going to go in the grass. I think there was contact as well. Kirkman in the grass. Sorry, Anderson in the grass on the outside. Pattinson holding it though around the outside of Edwards through 6. In through turn number 7 is Pattinson with the lead. Here comes Anderson up the inside of Edwards. He's going to try and get second. It's going to be Ewan Pattinson though leading it, coming down to the checker flag. Taking the win at Watkins Glen is going to be Simon Edwards in second, Anderson in third, using Kirkman behind him 4th and 5th. Will Redford behind him in 6th, and then there's a crash in the group behind. That's Mark Day ploughing into the wall. I think maybe that was Baranowski, actually it was. That's going to take him from top 10. Hopeful, actually he's able to cross the line there, I think, ahead of Mick Watson, so he's going to get 10th position. Here comes the next group though, that's Paul Smith. He's going to lose out to Chris J. Morris and Ken Bracey and finish P number 16, but that was one heck of a race, Rachel.
Yeah, absolutely was. Really crazy finish there, Linus, and some exciting driving from these guys. We really saw some very close, careful battling and some hairy moments, but overall a classic Watkins race.
Yeah, it definitely was, all the way down to the wire. And get a replay here of Baranowski actually just as he spins out. Here we go into the final corner. They're actually crashing in front of him, so that was in the battle for... that was the lapped cars, I believe, that was crashing. They tried to go around it, and then well, contact between Baranowski and Mick Watson, I believe that was, and Baranowski actually didn't make it to the finish line. Here we see lap cars John Torpy getting torpedoed. Sorry about that. And then the guys behind just can't do anything. So that's the guys that the leader was lapping earlier, just comes onto the track, and there's nowhere for these guys to go. Baranowski just... Reece Saunders actually lost his whole nose as well in that, but was able to limp it home. But I think everybody has crossed the finish line. So I believe it's time to go through the post-race results for Watkins Glen. It's Ewan Pattinson coming home with the victory, a quarter of a second ahead of Simon Edwards, with Lee Anderson in 3rd, Leus in 4th, and Dave Kirkman rounding out the top 5 there. Will Redford in 6th, was never really able to recover. Then Clark Williams in 7th, Reece Saunders in 8th, Mick Watson in 9th, and Peter Cowan finishing out the top 10. Then there's Mark Langford from 32nd on the grid, Mark Day in 12th from 33rd, Chris J. Morris in 13th from 37th on the grid. It's a good day for all of them. Ken Bracey in 14th, Paul Smith, as you saw, coming home in 15th actually from 45th on the grid. That's amazing from him. Dave M. Dowson in 16th, Alan Patterson 17th, Jack 9th in 18th, Seth Brown in 19th, and Andrew Baranowski managed to limp it home eventually in P number 20. Daniel Tufts in 21st, Jonathan Rex in 22nd, Tim Adcock 23rd, David Clapham 24th, John Edwards 25th, Simon Maltby 26th, Tony Stack 27th, Nicholas Von Roberts, our pole sitter, comes home in 28th, Mark Redford in 29th, and then Christopher Kane in P number 20. Those last few cars a lap down. The rest of the results up on your screen there, and well, Rachel, that was, I think that's going to be one of the craziest races we will have within a few years here in this series, unless we go back to this layout of this track.
Yeah, certainly is. It's definitely a unique layout from what we've had in the past. Typically we're on the boot here, so it's made it very busy and very exciting. And I believe we have got some people standing by, Linus.
We do. Let's see what we can get. Dave Kirkman is first up. Crazy race up there at the front all race long. Eventually you managed to come home in 5th there. Still a top 5, but just tell us about your race, Dave.
Well, that's my best race I've had in this league. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. I was very mindful of keeping out of trouble. I went into the in this race fourth in championship, and I think I'm still fourth now as a result. So I'm trying to get as high up in the championship as possible. So I was actually thinking about that during the race, but yeah, at one stage, I think lap 14, I kind of had an opportunity and I just went for it, and I was very lucky that I didn't get taken out, and it kind of took me a bit of a lesson really to just hang back and make sure I finish. So yeah, but it was a fantastic result for me, and yeah, it really does pay to kind of at this track just keep within the tow, and I was pulling away from everyone behind me, so I was trying to do I think what Clark normally does really, and that's to just hang back and wait for everyone to kind of make a mistake. And thankfully, I think was it Will that went off. Yeah, as a result, I've got a very good result, so I'm very, very pleased with that. It was a good race.
Were there any on-track communications with those lapped cars that you were catching there towards the end, or did they just pull off on their own? Because it looked like it was a bomb about to go off there when you were about to catch 5 lapped cars at once.
Yeah, that was quite. Well, I think Will mentioned it. The first lot of lap cars that we were coming up to, it was something that we were all quite nervous about, and there was someone that had a crash in front of us, which kind of sent debris flying as well. So when those lap cars were coming past, we didn't communicate with them. They were all really good actually. I'm really impressed with everyone moving over, and some of them really, really slowing down to allow the leaders to go through. So yeah, really thankful to them for just being very aware of where everyone was, and allowing us to race cleanly. Right.
Anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to Alan for organising the league. It's obviously very, very enjoyable, and I've been doing this for I think it's probably about 3 years now. I think I'm getting better every time, and thank you to the guys that I'm racing with. Really, I think, to be honest, I was a bit flattered in qualifying by the fact that with open qualifying on a track like this, you're going to get a lot of tows, but you've got to be in the right place at the right time, and you've got to be able to string a lap together. So I think really, over the last 3 years that I've been doing this, I've just been honing my skills in the Skippy really, and that's why I'm able to obviously get a good result today. But yeah, thank you to all the guys that I'm racing with. That all of them are very, very talented and a lot better than I am. So yeah, it's good to race with those guys.
Well, you were able to keep up with drivers that you say are better, so obviously you are just as good. But thank you for that, and congrats on a good result, and we will see you next week, hopefully. Next up, yes. We've got Rachel standing by with Redford Jr., Will Redford.
Absolutely do. Thank you very much. And, well, you came into it in 6th place, a very busy race, in the lead for quite a lot of it, but that looked like racing Daytona out there.
Yeah, it was just, the draft was crazy. If you were in the second of the car in front, you'd be right next to it at the end of the straight. It's just the nature of this track.
Yeah, it certainly is, of course, and a very difficult track to really find space on, considering even how wide it is. We saw a couple of little moments on track, a little bit of contact here and there. We did see some tricky spots for you and a few others involving coming out of the carousel.
Yeah, it was just, we went 3 wide into the carousel, and I thought I was clear from Ewan, and then I moved over and happened to touch him, which sent me into Nick. Nick ended up in the wall. I managed to carry on without any damage, I don't think, but because I was out the draft, I couldn't catch up. It was just I was stuck in 6th.
Well, unfortunate, but still a great result, a top 10 at the end of the day. So congratulations. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or thank?
Shout out to my dad as usual. I don't know where he finished this time, but probably near the back. Oh,
was that a bit of a sly remark there? Wow.
And shout out to Alan for hosting and my team, Turn 4 Motorsports.
Well, there you go. Well, great work for Will Redford coming home in 6th place. And if his father is listening, I would suggest grounding him for at least a week for that remark. Thanks for joining us, Will. And after that, Linus is standing by with the one and only Simon Edwards.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel. Simon, that was a special race, to say the least. Looked more like NASCAR at a super speedway than a Skippy race, but still super entertaining. How was your race?
As you say, it was super entertaining. It was good fun. I wasn't sure if I could get away with the front pack where I qualified, but I managed to get onto the back of that front pack. Unfortunately, I had a bump up the bum, so I had a bent exhaust, so I was having to work the draft a bit more than I would normally would. But it was still good fun, and I was still competitive right at the end, so that was good.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you as well, when you were coming up on that bunch of lapped cars there towards the end, how nervous did you get there that something was about to happen?
I was a bit more nervous that when we were a bit further behind them, because we did see a couple of punts ahead of us, and we had to make some minor avoidance of cars and bits. So I was actually more frightened of being a bit behind them than right on them. So once we got close to them, I thought they would at least behave themselves. So not like we were doing that, but just the closer we got, I thought it was easier to spot something going on rather than coming around a corner and finding crash cars.
Well, a great race nonetheless, and thankfully they stayed out of the way when you got there. So anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Yourselves again. I always do that, or I try to do that. And Alan for joining most of the races now. So he runs it, but he's actually been joining the races. He's actually not been missing them like he has in the last few seasons. So I'm hoping he's having some fun. And my usual sponsor, Masternaut.
There was that as well. And Alan Patterson, as you mentioned, finished 17th today from 29. So I guess he had a good race. Thanks again for joining us, Simon. Hopefully we will see you next week. And looking at the championship standings real quick, Ewan Pattinson with that win has actually increased his lead up to 18 points ahead of Simon Edwards, and then Lee Anderson holds on to third. Dave Kirkman skips a couple of points ahead of Will Redford, so now 3 points between them in fourth and fifth. Next week though, we are going to Virginia International and the Grand West layout, so you will not want to miss that, because Virginia always puts on a great race. Even though the drafting isn't as big as it was here, is always entertaining with a ton of overtaking opportunities. Thank you for joining us tonight. I've been Linus Brostrom, joined as always by Rachel Whitefoot with Hugo Lees doing the amazing job on the cameras. Join us next week, same time, same place, live here on RaceSpotTV in association with the Calm Zone. Thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye.